Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome on in to the live collab between JStock Media, Titletown Rundown, and the Clutch Mode Pod. We have got all of your trades covered for today. Don't you worry. And as we're going to get them as they roll in, and we're going to stay with you until 6:15 today. So stay on the feed and make sure that you stay here. Stay tuned here. Yes. There's no other place to look. So here we are. Welcome on in. So we've got Kyler, we've got Justin, this is David,
Hi.
I'm Alex. So here we go. Why don't we kick it off with the biggest trade today? All you Red Sox fans are interested in. Let's talk today about the trade that we made with the Orioles.
Yes.
So, yep. So, Kyler, why don't you go through the trade?
Yeah, sure. So the Red Sox acquire Adley Rutschman and Jake Rogers from the Baltimore Orioles. And then the Orioles receive Anthony Ianson, Tyson Witherspoon, and then Endy, as well as Narvaez and another prospect as well. And you know what? Look, they just traded their two top pitching prospects, but my take on this trade is that this is a win now trade.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
We're not trying to win when you're great old, Kyler. We're going for it right now while you're young and still going. And I think this is the type of move that I say, listen.
Yes.
I am ready for the parade. Bring on the duck boats. I actually mean
wow. That. That's a bold statement. My goodness.
I will say this. The one thing I don't like about this is that he has been injured a lot this year and hasn't played quite the way that he can, but he's an elite defensive catcher who can hit home runs from the right side. So that's what you need. And Narvaez does go in this deal, so you did have to take on Jake Rogers, who was traded from Detroit to Baltimore just about 2 days ago. So talk about a U.S. road trip for him.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
going to be going to Worcester very soon.
Probably,
but I like this deal for the Red Sox. This says we are ready to win now.
And I like that he is, he was in the All-Star. He's a 3-time All-Star. He was in the All-Star game just, last month. And I like that he should be coming back pretty soon. This isn't a long-term injury. He's got a wrist injury, so he should be coming back and then being, available for the Red Sox to back up Connor Wong in the near future.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
he's actually going to be the number one guy.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. My bad.
He's an all-star. He's an all-star.
He is an all. Well, he is a 3-time all-star.
Yeah.
Well, so he's gonna start for them. Wong will be their backup catcher for now. We'll see if that changes a couple years, or even in the off season down the road. But this is a move where you're getting a guy who's going to be a starter. He's going to play, as much as they can play him. I would also be interested to see if he DHs some because of his injuries. So let's say you put Connor Wong out there, who is familiar with the pitchers. That's why he stayed, in my opinion. And he also played a little bit better than Narvaez this year. Narvaez had the better year last year. But I would argue that Wong knows this staff a lot better because he's been around longer. And so that's why he probably stayed as an anchor, because there's certain guys like Brian Bayo who definitely revolve around a guy like Connor Wong. It's like Wakefield with Mirabelli, if you will. Like, he knew how to catch the knuckleball. I think that this is a great move for them in terms of their offense. I still think they make a move or two. I think that, we're going to have to watch closely here, but I think this is a step in the right direction. It took them a while to complete this because of the injury history, but I think the reason why they wanted Jake Rogers in this deal was just so that they had a second catcher kind of for depth right now.
Yes.
Yes. My personal take on Adley.
Judd's
personal take on Adley is he's really excited for Adley. He thinks it will be a major factor in October. However, the Sox do need to do more, and Judd is eyeing C.J. Abrams as the guy.
Yes, and then what else did he just say?
And then we just received an alert. It's sounding like George Springer to the Sox is unlikely per Julian Mack.
Yeah, and we had mentioned that he's controlled through 2027, and Rogers is definitely, like you mentioned, he's there for depth. He has a 5.67 OPS through the end of July, and I know you had mentioned that Rushman has a 764 OPS and 8 home runs and 47 RBIs through 67 games. So obviously, what did you give? Giving up Narvaez, I don't think it's too much of a loss for the Red Sox to be giving him up. But I think overall, what grade would you give this trade?
I give it an A.
An A. Wow. Bold statement.
Or an A,
Yes.
A minus,
A minus?
maybe, just because of like how many prospects you had to give up to do it. But for
I
a guy who is injury prone, but I love this type of a deal. I know it's a bit high as in terms of ranking. He's probably going to be somewhere between a B plus and an A minus for a lot of analysts out there or writers. But this is a move that says we're winning the championship. It really does. And I'm a little bit wowed for sound because they just swept the Dodgers. But
Yes,
Connor
yeah.
Wong hit into a double play, right?
Yes.
At one point. How much small ball can you play in the postseason? I mean, you're going to have to at times, but I didn't want the catcher spot to be the designated 9 spot. So getting an all-star in Rutschman, yeah, he hasn't been the Mike Trout level guy, but he was picked first overall a few years ago by Baltimore, and he is still an all-star level catcher.
So you mentioned the series with the Dodgers, which was absolutely fantastic, and I think that it would be remiss if we didn't talk anymore about the Tarek Skubal of it all, and the impact that he has, the ripple effect that trade is having. I mean, and then the Dodgers they just did another trade today as well, and I'm just kind of. Sorry. And yes, I don't know how to take comments, but we are taking comments. So if you have any comments, let us know. I have absolutely no idea how to put them on there, but we still want your comments. So, hey, look at that. There it is. Sorry about that. So like I said, get your comments in there. Let us know what you think about the Red Sox trade or any other trades that you think have happened today.
Yes.
And we want to hear what you have to say. But also, go ahead, David.
Yes, we have another headline that is circulating around. The Red Sox are among teams who have checked in on Giants pitcher Eric Miller, who has been generating trade interest. Robert Murray said it first.
And that's definitely one of our needs, starting pitcher and shortstop, which we are really hoping that.
Yes.
And
Zach Neto is definitely our white whale.
Well, I know that, but the deeper that we get into today, the more it seems like he's not going to be traded. But let's go back to Skubal for a minute, because Skubal has a big ripple effect on, I think, the whole league. So let's kind of go through that trade a little bit. I love that he was there. He just showed up, was in the dugout at the Dodgers games while we're busy sweeping them, doing the hard work.
Oh.
It's great to give out handshakes, but the hard work is sweeping the Dodgers. So what can you say about that Skubal trade?
I love it and hate it, because as a fan of baseball, I don't like it in the sense that it makes it unfair. It's like you have Snell, you have Glass now, you now have Skubal, who, by the way, beat out Crochet last year for the Cy Young. Otherwise, he would have had that in the bag, I think. So 100%, this makes them better. And, they also have Yamamoto as well. So, like,
yes, he's great. Fantastic.
Those 4 guys alone are like guys who could be an ace on any team. So I certainly think that it's a good move for the Dodgers. I like that the Dodgers are aggressive and always wanting to kind of go after that championship. I think I got to respect it. Now, do I love it? No. As a Red Sox fan, I hope the Red Sox keep this up, and, I hope that they win the World Series. But I think that they have a chance to at least go to the ALCS, if not go to the World Series, and with the way that they've been playing. And I think that, in terms of Skubal, he really does make their team better. I think he was emotional leaving Detroit, but I also think that the return that they got, that the Tigers, that they got for him, I think this screams that the owners want that lockout, or that they want to have leverage in this situation, because honestly, the Red Sox could have given up something similar, in my opinion, or even the Brewers or the Rays. But I think that this is really a signal that baseball is going to be in the question in the future, and that's why I like that the Red Sox were aggressive and that the Dodgers are as well.
Okay, so I know you mentioned that, and I think one of the big things about Otani is, and his deferment of all that money, is he deferred all that money so that the Dodgers can win now. Now, you could say what you want about deferred contracts. Got a trade.
Breaking news, yes.
Breaking news.
The Astros are pretty much set to acquire outfielder Dalton Varsho from Toronto in exchange for starter Spencer Arrighetti.
Oh, I like that. It's a very Italian way of pronouncing it. It's fancy.
He probably is Italian for all we know, but yeah.
All right.
Brand new trade.
That's a great trade, hot off the presses. And that's per Bob Nightingale.
And Mitch Bannon.
So we want to make sure credit where credit is due.
They're going over medicals, but it's pretty much done.
All right, so they're just waiting for medicals. All right, Kyler, what do you got?
Toronto is doing a little bit of buying and selling. They got
Yes, they are.
They got Jose Soriano, I believe is his name, from the Angels. But they also traded Kevin Gossman, who I knew that they were going to trade because they also brought in Jamison Tyone. So who was designated for assignment by the Cubs, not the same pitcher anymore. They needed some depth there, and so they did that. I knew that was going to happen. But now Varsho going to the Astros, what a fit for them, because how Houston said, "Listen, we're only a couple games out," and then they kind of beat up on the Rangers a bit and got their way into the AL West. They're at the top of their division right now, with how tight everything is. They are now at the top, and they decided to go out and get Varsho, who's a very good hitter, by the way. And I think that they needed that depth. I also like the move for the Blue Jays because they get a young pitcher in return. They're stockpiling young pitchers. I like that.
Absolutely. So I think what's interesting is, like you said, they've been buyers and sellers, the Blue Jays. So I think they're really trying to like make a splash in the off season. I'm sorry, by the trade deadline today. So I think yeah. So I just want to go back, and I know that we were talking about the trade. The other trade that the Dodgers made was for catcher Ben Rorvet, and with the Mets, who get right-handed pitcher Chase McDermott. He is Rorvet spent 2026 at AAA Syracuse and was not on the Mets 40-man roster. He's known more for pitcher handling and then offense. And McDermott is a right-hander who the Dodgers have designated for assignment. So he doesn't really have a current. I don't know what his current line is, but Will Smith is weeks away with a neck injury, and Dalton Rush is day to day. So Rorvet already knows a lot of the Dodgers pitching staff. So that is the other trade that they ended up making.
Yes.
Any thoughts on that trade?
A depth catcher. That's really all that is a depth catcher who can handle things defensively. They needed a little bit of help defensively at catcher. I think last night we had 2 balls that went to the backstop, right? Or at least by the catcher. So they needed somebody who could play defensively. I don't think this guy is really going to be much of an MLB hitter, but they already have Mookie Betts, Kyle Tucker, you name it, Otani if you want to name him, Freeman. The reason why they're a problem, which is their lineup and their rotation, are both
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
I like the move defensively.
Yep. And I know the Blue Jays, they also made another trade. They traded infielder Josh Smith and right-handed pitcher Josh Steffen to the Rangers, who get left-handed pitcher Adam Macko. Smith is a 213 average and a 571 OPS in 45 games this year. And he is controlled for 2 more seasons with option years. Steffen has a 5.44 ERA and 101 AAA innings. Macko has a 4.91 ERA and 22 MLB innings, and he gives Texas a left-handed pitcher with major league exposure and remaining development upside. So, like you said, Toronto they've been wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, and I just saw that Danny said that the Blue Jays are in an identity crisis after the Red Sox surge. And I would say that he's absolutely right.
100%.
Because they don't know what to do because they were in the World Series against the Dodgers. Real shocker, I know. But I like to say it that way. But absolutely, they don't know what to do because the Red Sox absolutely have surged in the last 35 years or so since the whole Rockies series, which was horrible. And it was absolutely atrocious. But I think that the way that they've come back and the way they've been resilient, I haven't seen that in my lifetime. But usually when teams like that occur, it's going to be a special year. And I think that for the Blue Jays, they haven't been playing well as of lately. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get young pitchers right now. You saw that they got another, that they've stocked up on their young pitching. They got a guy who can play first base. I know that Smith can play first. He unfortunately hasn't played well this year, but in years past has had some decent success at first. And I think that they need somebody that can play there because Guerrero's had a down year. They might have to move him to DH, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
I think he'll have a bounce
not had
back.
a good year.
He'll have a bounce back year, in my opinion, like next year offensively. But defensively, he's not that type of guy. So getting that with years of control is very helpful. They're definitely retooling and not completely rebuilding, which I like.
Yes.
Yes.
This Judge says this is what Boston was trying to do in the 2020 and 2022, buying and selling. Like, remember the Vasquez trade for Abreu?
Absolutely, that's a great point. I wanted to bring that up, and you gave me a segue to it. During the Red Sox recent streak, I actually did think of the Vasquez trade in 2022 because Abreu has been a mainstay. He's kind of a 20 to 25 home run type of guy for you. And, if he's healthy, if he's consistent, whatever, by the end of the season, he'll have somewhere around 20 home runs. And I think that he just fits well in your outfield. And, they also got Emmanuel Valdez who helped them a little bit, and they realized he couldn't really play at the major league level. But when they really needed that help, they had those two guys up there right away. And now it's really just Wilyer Abreu for Vasquez, who has kind of dipped a little bit in his production as he's gotten older. But I absolutely think that Toronto will be back, but I think they realize they need to kind of look at next year's view or maybe 2028's view instead of this year's view.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this was reaction to what is going on with the Red Sox right now, because I can tell you right now, like, they're the best team in the American League right now. They're the best team. They're practically the best team in all of baseball right now. And I don't think that anybody would. I don't think if a single Red Sox fan in April came out and said that the Red Sox would be doing what they're doing right now, I would look them in the face and say, you're a liar.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your minds and you're a liar and you don't know anything. But what I'm curious is that I'm curious about the mix that the Red Sox want to do between, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't really want to, baseball's a very superstitious sport. So it's kind of like, on the one hand, you want to say, well, how much of this lineup do we really want to mess with because it's going so well? And when it's going so well in baseball, the worst thing you could do is touch it. On the other hand, you have needs. Starting pitching is a need. Shortstop is a need. They already addressed the need with catcher. Like, I'm curious about, like, the balance that you think that needs to be made and how many teams. I'm a bit more surprised that, like, a team like the Yankees have made some moves, but I'm just, the teams that are, like, ahead of the Red Sox, I'm surprised that they're just not being more aggressive.
The Yankees are, if I'm being honest,
but they're not like.
They were in on Rutschman, and that's why I'm glad that you got him, because let's be honest, if they had Adley and Garcia, I'd be scared of that team. I think they would go on a huge run, but they don't have Judge, they don't have Bellinger, they don't have Giancarlo. They're kind of down right now, but they're still in it. And what I mean by that is they're still a few games ahead of the Red Sox, but the Red Sox are only 5 games out of the
Yes,
out of
first place.
division.
Yes.
We're not even talking about playoff spots anymore. We're talking about the division when they were 15 and a half out. So they've passed 10 teams so far in the American League.
Insane.
And they're like 2.5 behind the Yankees, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. And so I think if I'm the Red Sox, I had to make some of those moves. Look, if they work out, they work out. If they don't, they don't. And they might work out down the road too. Like Curtis Meade, I think will be huge for them next year, or if he does come back. Yeah, Neto is per Nightingale is now is going to stay.
Yes, that's
expectedly.
right.
So, look, I don't know what we're going to do. I think there's probably going to be at least one more move for the Red Sox.
Yeah, we need a shortstop.
They have to do something. I don't know. I think they do want to trade. They might trade Arias, or they might bring him up. They might bring him up if they can't.
A lot
get
of will they, won't they?
Because I don't think they can get Abrams right now, and I don't think they're going to get Neto.
They're not getting Neto.
Yeah, he's staying in Anaheim.
So
for,
yeah, well, I'm saying well, yeah, I mean I'm saying it in a nice way, but yeah, absolutely. So now it comes down to, do you take on a contract with a lot of money for a shortstop? Maybe they look at other options that we didn't think of. I do think that might happen, like a Lindor sort of situation. They might do it. They might do it. They might do it. They might have to. I don't think they should, but I also don't think Monasterio can play in the playoffs.
I agree with you there. I know. No. So I know that we talked about the Yankees real quick. They acquired infielder Luis Garcia Jr. from the Nationals in exchange for 4 minor league and relief pitchers. So that's what they did for Giovanni Cruz, Jake Bird, Ben Grable, and Jack Siebert.
Jake Bird, I like that.
I like that deal. Jake Bird is a veteran guy, but then you have some younger guys in there as well. Paul Taboni was actually the assistant GM to Craig Breslow, and that's why he made the Connolly Early trade with Breslow for Curtis Meade. He's trading his abundance of infielders for pitching. They didn't have enough pitching when they reloaded before, when they traded Soto. I liked the Soto deal years ago, where they got Abrams, they got James Wood, they got Gore. Now Gore's gone. They need pitching. So I think that they've done a good job of getting some young pitchers with a veteran depth guy like Bird. Certainly, for them, it's kind of like Toronto, where you're retooling for maybe next year, and then if you're the Yankees, you had to make that move. I've been saying that all along, because they did lose their top 3 offensive options, and he's the top slug guy in the league right now. So just picked him up for fantasy. He's been gold, but for my personal team. But I think it's a good move for the Yankees. It might be a slight overpay, but you got to pay the price at this time of year.
I agree. Okay, so let's. Do you have any thoughts about any of the other pitchers, or just?
Yeah, I do. I actually do think that there's a couple deals that I really like. I like the White Sox deal for Castillo. I really like that deal, and I like the Peralta deal for the Rays. I think that when it comes to pitchers, you aren't going to get too many guys on the market right now, because the Minnesota Twins have said, hey, we're going for it, for one. And two, I just don't think anybody wanted to give up Scooble prices, because everybody else but the Dodgers weren't getting the half-off layaway, if you will.
I know a lot of people were really surprised about what they had to give up for Skubal. And they seem to think that the Red Sox gave up more than what the Dodgers gave up for Skubal, which is like so Dodgers. Like, I can't take it. It drives me nuts.
The owners are doing this intentionally. Let me just put that out there. The owners are doing this intentionally. They're working together. Like, come on now. This is like a
100%.
bargaining agreement already.
Okay, so let's talk about, let's see, the Phillies did a trade with the Giants. They got second baseman Luis Arias and right-hander pitcher Caleb Killian. The Giants get right-hander pitcher Ramon Marquez and right-hander pitcher Marty Gayer. Arias has a 3.324 average and 800 OPS with 4 home runs, 43 RBIs, 22 walks, and only 21 strikeouts in 468 appearances. He has a 4.5% strike rate. It's the MLB's lowest, and he would have been a free agent after this year. Killian is 3-6 with a 4.26 ERA, 53 strikeouts, and 22 walks in 44 and a third innings. Marquez was Philly's number 4 prospect before the trade and is now listed among the Giants' top arms. Gayer is unranked. He's an unranked right-hander, an official current. So he doesn't really have anything official. So Philly was entered today, tied for 28th with a 3.04 OPB and had scored 0 or 1 runs 26 times. And Arias puts the ball in play and forces a useful lineup shuffle. So I think that the Giants were able to move an expiring contract and a depth pitcher for 2 young arms instead of losing Arias for only 1 qualifying return. What do you think?
I like it. Dylan Dave is back at it. That's what I have to say. I like him a lot. I think we saw this with the Red Sox and Dave Dombrowski, and he even did this with the Tigers back in the day. How he would trade his farm system until he had nothing left to win that championship. And he's been so close so many times with the Phillies that I feel like it's almost an injustice to him with his dedication. But I absolutely love the deal for Arias. I think he's a guy that doesn't strike out. He puts the ball in play, like you said. They needed an infielder. They also just needed a bat. Schwarber's been out, and Schwarber's a great hitter.
I miss Schwarber.
See, I wish they had.
One that got away.
I wish they had kept him.
I wish they hadn't done that because you might not have to.
I know he's the one that got away for sure.
Like, you wouldn't have had to trade Connolly early if you had Kyle Schwarber.
It's nothing like trading away an all-star. Makes you look great.
Well, he signed. Well, he signed elsewhere, but Mookie.
Oh, that's right. He didn't get traded away. I'm sorry.
But no, I wish they retained him. I wish they because he loved Boston. He was familiar with the ballpark. He would have smashed the ball out of the ballpark. And
he was Kyle from Waltham.
Yeah, I mean,
he will be missed. He will be missed.
Yeah, but I do like. I honestly do like that they're kind of being aggressive and that they're looking into all avenues because they needed to address their lineup for sure. I just don't know. I don't know if Curtis Mead's coming back this year. I don't know if Marcelo Meyer at shortstop is a good idea. I don't know if Trevor Story is going to be a storybook ending or an absolute nightmare.
I worry bring him back into this mix.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if
they're
we want
both answers to the clubhouse too, by the way.
Well, speaking of cancers for the clubhouse, we know that Jarren Duran has been causing a few ripples in the clubhouse lately. And, there's talks that he'll be traded maybe in the winter, maybe not right now. But I think, let's talk about, I wanted you to talk to me specifically about Yoshida, Duran, and Gonzalez as far as shopping or even listening to offers on them as we get closer to the 6 o'clock deadline.
I would keep Yoshida. I actually would keep Yoshida. I think he's a good hitter, and he hits in the clutch, actually. He was the only guy in the postseason last year who actually hit in the postseason. I just feel like he's the type of guy you can hold on to because a lot of teams aren't going to want his contract, so you're not going to get much for him. So why not hold on to him if you feel like you can't fill that spot? Like, if you had Schwarber, I would say trade him, but I would wait till the offseason for that and then go get another bat. Duran, I would trade him now. I would have traded him last year. I would have traded him for Joe Ryan. If you were going to trade one of your young starters, like a Peyton Tolley last year, and if you were going to get rid of Arias as well, why not just throw Jarren Duran in there? Because he had good value up until this season. So
it's hard. His value is not great right now. That's the difficulty. He's hitting so poorly. He's been a little bit better just really, really recently, but he's really good on defense, but he's just not so good on offense.
He's not good at being a clubhouse guy, first and foremost. You know, I applaud him for talking about like mental health awareness and stuff, and I'm totally like good with that. But if you're gonna be a total jerk on and off the field, get out of here. And if you can't back up your play, like Nomar could back up his play, right? And he could say whatever he wanted, and I'd be like, okay, the guy's hitting 330. I don't need to harp on him. But Jarren Duran, I think, would be a better golfer than an outfielder right now for the Red Sox. I seriously just think they need to think about the type of people that they're bringing into the organization. So
that's right.
I don't even think it's – I actually think it speaks to what happened earlier in the year. I don't think it was a talent issue, and I think you guys will agree with me on this. It wasn't a talent issue. It was an ownership issue. It was an organizational issue. They've had a hard time communicating with the medical staff. Cora wasn't good for the clubhouse anymore. Do I think he'll get another job? Absolutely.
Oh, he'll get a job anywhere. People are happy to have him. I want to interject for 1 second. We're about an hour and a half away from the deadline. Just want to remind everybody, keep an eye on that clock as 6 o'clock gets closer and closer and closer. Reports keep coming in that the Red Sox are still continuing to be shopping for a shortstop before the deadline at 6 o'clock. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Kyler. You were flowing so hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like to talk. It's kind of what
That's
I do.
all right.
All good.
Takes one to know one. You can't shut me up.
I like the but yeah, I just think that they had to change how they carried themselves as an organization. I love how Wilson Contreras has stepped up. Like there's a difference between a guy like a Wilson Contreras and a Jarren Duran. Like Contreras will get fired up or and whatever. Like he had his suspensions and ejections and whatever.
Yeah, but Contreras backs it up. Like he backs it up with offense. He backs it up with great play.
He leads
in the clubhouse.
Yes, he's a leader in the clubhouse. Absolutely.
Yeah, Jarren Duran is just a pain in the butt at this point.
Jarren Duran is a tool.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like I really
definitely he's definitely the odd man out, I feel, next season.
It's horrible. So.
It is. So okay, I definitely want to make sure you keep those comments coming in. Who are your absolutely dead stop, absolutely under no circumstances can you trade this Red Sox?
Right now, who would I keep? I would probably I'd keep Contreras. Let's be honest.
Definitely.
That's my not tradable guy. Because he carries himself the way David Ortiz kind of carried himself.
Yeah, he's like the new Big Papi.
Like he said, I am not waiving my no trade clause. I want to stay here. I love the fans. I love the atmosphere. You have to love everything about him, and I certainly think that when you talk about, we've been talking about leaders. We've been talking about him sort of indirectly. Chad Tracy was about to go talk to his team after losing the streak, and Wilson is already in there with Sonny Gray talking to the team.
That was great.
So I would say hold on to those two guys, Chapman as well.
Rafael and Abreu for sure.
So you don't think that it's worth it? I know there was a lot of talk about trading Chapman, the return that you could get on him, but you feel like at this point in time, absolutely not. No.
Oh, he's ninth overall.
I'm going to actually back up what I'm saying right now. If they were out of the playoffs where they were, a couple months ago, I would have absolutely done that. I would have done it in a heartbeat.
100%.
But now you have a chance to maybe go to the World Series or win it, in my opinion. The way they've been playing, And you need that closer. Like Garrett Whitlock could do it, but I feel like Chapman is the guy I trust with my life. Like I would give him the ball if my life depended on it. So I feel like he's the type of guy that if you want to win a World Series, that's who you're riding with. Yes, he's probably going to decline next year or maybe the year after. He'll probably retire soon. But here's the thing. I think he's more valuable on your team right now than off of it.
So what about, I know for me, I feel like a no deal type of guy would be Cedar Rafaela.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
You can't, first of all,
player of the week.
his offensive production right now is like off the charts. I mean,
Player
we're
of the
talking
week.
about,
You
you
can't
don't have to
trade
go
that
any
man.
further back than the last game. What happened in the last game?
Back-to-back homers.
No, back to back to almost back.
It's crazy.
He almost hit 3.
Yeah.
I know.
Triple threat.
The triple threat. You're talking who had the home runs?
Rafaela, Abreu, and Yoshida.
That's right.
Not to mention Duran did a thing.
Yeah, even Duran had a home run.
Duran did a thing, yeah. Not to mention Rafaela got AL Player of the Week.
That's right, and Rafaela was the AL Player of the
That's off to
Week.
Rafi.
That's right. So I feel like for me, and I even think Abreu for me would be an absolute hard stop as well.
100%.
Yeah, and that's also part of why I think selling can be good at the deadline, right? Because of how they got rid of Vasquez when he had a little value left. Mm-hmm. I wish Breslow would have learned from that and traded both Meyer and Duran when they had a little bit of trade value. Because you could have gotten a Joe Ryan, right? You could have gotten somebody else. I also think Suarez is off the table.
Yeah, definitely.
Well.
I mean, Suarez has been doing great since Zayas thing.
But, I like their lineup kind of down the road, too, because I feel like there aren't too many, big big subtractions from the team, really, other than maybe Sonny Gray.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. We'll get Kyler back in a second. Let's talk about, before we wait for Kyler to come back, let's talk about some more trades.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays got right-handed pitcher Jose Soriano from the Angels, who got shortstop Arjan Nimala, outfielder Eddie Micheletti Jr., and right-handed pitcher Angel Rivero. Soriano is 27. He has a 3.29 ERA, 127 strikeouts in 123 innings, and roughly a 97 mile per hour pitching velocity when he throws that ball. He is under control through 2028. Nimala is 20. He is the Toronto's number 2 and MLB top 100 prospect. He has an ERA of 2.65, 8 home runs. He bats 2.65, 8 home runs, and has an 8.17 OPS in 62 games across high A and double A. Micheletti and Rivero also add a second bat and an arm. Toronto traded Kevin Gausman and then bought a younger replacement. Soriano immediately should fit behind Dylan Cease and give rotation certainty for multiple seasons. The Angels have been selling, so they sold at the highest, talking about selling at the highest value point, a 27-year-old starter having his best season with 2 more years of control. And that's what you want to do if you're going to be doing some selling. Toronto is just trying to remain competitive and avoid having to punt on this season while also building for next year and building for the future. It's just tough because, they lost their best near-term shortstop prospect. And Nimala has a chance to become the Angels' everyday shortstop. So Toronto has to improve Soriano's walk consistency for the price to be worth it. So that was another trade. Hey, Kyler.
Am I back?
You're back.
You are back, yes.
I could hear you the whole time.
But, gosh, I'm sorry about that.
But yeah, no problem.
The good thing is you're back, and we missed you so much.
I like the Soriano move, as I previously mentioned. I think that they're really stockpiling younger arms with control and getting – they're really kind of retooling for next year. I really think they're going to be a good team next year because they had what they call the World Series hangover. They did. That's a real thing. It's a real thing. You've seen it with all the Red Sox teams after they win it.
Yep.
But I think that unlike years past, I feel like both the Red Sox and the Blue Jays are geared up for the next 3 or 4 years, really.
Yes, I agree. Let's see. Let's talk about some more trades that took place today. The Guardians got outfielder Joe Adele, and the Angels get catcher Jacob Cozart.
Jeez,
Adele
doing a lot today.
has 16 home runs and 62 RBIs in 111 games. He has a 97th percentile bat speed and a .910 OPS against left-handers. He's controlled through 2027. Risk has a 287 OBP, and he has a -2 outs above average in right field. Cozart is the number 18 prospect. He has 10 home runs and 44 RBIs, 3 walks and 81 strikeouts in 79 AA games. Cleveland ranked 29th at 3.95 runs per game and 28th with a 6.52 OPS against lefties. So Adele addresses the right-handed power problem. And the Angels are turning an inconsistent outfielder with 2 years of control into a AA catching prospect at a position where organizational depth is important. Adele should play right field or designated hitter, especially against left-hand pitching. He immediately becomes one of their top home run threats. So I think this slight edge would probably go to Cleveland. It's a very unusually specific, and the cost was like a mid-tier prospect. But Adele's OBP and defense, are something that really makes the trade worthwhile.
Cleveland is a team that's buying and selling.
Yes, like the Blue Jays.
Yeah, like they're not like they've kind of gone out and gotten guys, but they've also kind of sold off a little bit to retool. I don't think they're really – it's going to be between them and the Twins, if I'm being totally honest, for that third wild card spot. Their rivals, the White Sox, have actually been really active as well, and I've actually been really impressed with that White Sox team. Talk about the haul that they got for Garrett Crochet and everything that they've done. That division has been really good. The Royals kind of struggled this year, and I think they kind of have to sell too. I wouldn't be surprised if they deal a couple starters or something. I really wouldn't. I know it's kind of late in the game, but they might make a move or two. And I look at this kind of the overall landscape of this trade deadline. You're seeing a lot of interdivision trades, which I think are very rare. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, but I think that like Robbie Ray was traded within the division.
Look at the Orioles.
Adley Rutschman, like you just got a superstar catcher for a few years, but talk about selling at good value. They got a couple really good pitching prospects out of it. You just gave up most of your top prospects. What's up, Jet?
Oh, David, why don't you say
what?
Oh,
yes. We got another trade. I'm not sure how big this is, but the Royals have acquired pitcher Nolan Hoffman from the Phillies in exchange for another pitcher named Manuel Colon.
Manuel Colon
from the Phillies.
Okay.
It's
so the deal is tentatively what does that say?
Accepted.
Pending his addition.
They're pending his addition, yeah.
Okay. So there you go. There's another trade.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's not a huge one. It's just pitcher for pitch.
It's a baby trade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not big, but it's mentionable for sure.
I actually
every trade is mentionable.
That the Mets have done more. Talk about selling off. Talk about a team that spends but just didn't get anywhere.
The Mets are like the Jets. The
Mets
are like the Jets of baseball.
Giants.
They just they keep trying. It's not about spending money. They spend plenty of money, but man, they absolutely bombed on Juan Soto. He's just been. I wouldn't call him a bust, but my goodness, the ROI is ridiculous, and they're pouring in all this money, and this was supposed to be their year, and they are just deplorable. They're horrible, and it's just
Lindor
it's so
couldn't
funny.
even field grounders.
Lindor is terrible. It's awful. He can't.
Watch him
He
go to
can't do
Boston.
anything.
Watch him go to Boston. I'm telling you.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about Lindor coming to Boston. Like, he's he's in a bit of a slump right now, and I guess sometimes a new change of scenery does wonders. But I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, Lindor, and I'm like, I'm not that jazzed.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think that he's been so bad, he has to eventually get better.
But look at it. I mean, you make it's so funny because David and I were talking about this earlier. Look at Sale. You bring in a player like Sale, and he absolutely just flounders and can't get anywhere.
He was made of glass as a Red Sox.
He was constantly, yes, he couldn't do
he was like
anything.
The N'Keal Harry of Boston.
And then he goes off to the Braves, and look at him. He's awesome.
I actually think he had 2 pretty good years in Boston. Hey, they won a championship because of him, though. They won a championship because of him. They totally did. It's kind of like how, he had a good year the year before they won. So I feel like you didn't really, I feel like for them it was more about winning. And look at David Price. David Price was good for them in the playoffs, but that last year of his contract was awful, and they had to trade him to the Dodgers with Mookie, and they ended up not getting a good return for Mookie, and that was kind of where things shifted because Dombrowski was so aggressive. I like how Breslow is doing a little bit of we're buying for now, but we have guys with control. I like that.
All right,
they might be spending a little more, but you're getting guys long term.
So let's talk about. You mentioned Breslow, which is like a sensitive subject for some. So let's talk about everybody at the beginning of the year, when the Red Sox were doing terribly, were saying that, that's interesting. A piece of news came in and says that the Red Sox are absolutely making Marcelo Mayer available for trade.
Potentially for pitching.
I'm sorry, is this comedy? This is hilarious.
Yes, it's like, please take my player who probably should be down in Worcester and give me some pitching in return.
Why didn't we do this last year? We had Joe Ryan on the table.
I don't know, man.
This is why I got frustrated with Breslow. This is why.
All I know is this front office.
Let's talk about the Breslow of it all. So at the beginning of the season, I love it. Ooh. No, keep it coming. Okay, wait. Do we have another trade?
Yes, we do.
We do. We have another trade. Let's go. Come on, David, give it to us.
Yes.
Should we wait for?
Hold on, I'm texting it. Hold on.
It's all right.
The Cubs strike again, landing Mets starter Clay Holmes and outfielder Tyrone Taylor.
Wow.
There we go. Let's go Cubbies. All of a sudden.
Mets return is TBD. John Heyman said it first.
All right. I think we need to make some room because we have somebody else who just joined the party. Joey. Better late than never. Saving the best for last. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
So, did you hear that last trade?
No. Let me hear it.
Say it again, David.
Yes. Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor are going from the Mets to the Cubs. That's crazy.
So read the whole trade.
Jefferson Rojas.
Read the whole trade.
The Cubs strike again, landing New York Mets starter Clay Holmes and outfield Tyrone Taylor in exchange for top infield prospect Jefferson Rojas.
Okay. Joey, you get first dibs.
John Heyman and Bob Nightingale, excuse me.
All right. Well, I know you guys mentioned it a little bit earlier with the Kevin Gausman trade, but then the Cubs continue to add with getting Clay Holmes, and it was a really interesting situation in his time with the Mets. Obviously, he was a late reliever in his time with the Yankees and then made the switch over to the rotation as he began with the Mets. So now they have that flexibility, but they've already made that entrance into their rotation with Gausman, and they have another chance to add now with Clay Holmes.
Yep, and that Rojas is the Cubs' number 2 prospect.
Yes, it's pending medical review, but it's pretty much done.
Yeah, and that's a Bob Nightingale special.
All right.
So we were just talking about Breslow. So I was saying at the beginning of the season, I would think that not one person, well, maybe some people, but most people would not necessarily have been against trading. Can't trade Breslow. I wish you could, but getting rid of firing Breslow, trade him to like some like
anywhere.
But I think if we come away, if we come away from this trade deadline, which is coming up in a little over an hour, if we come away from this trade deadline only coming up with just the one trade that we had for the catcher, and we don't make any more trades, like where do you think that leaves Breslow's job?
Yeah, I'll start it off. I think for me, I still think it comes up a little bit short, so it brings back the hot seat a little bit in my eyes. But I think that the way that we've had some reports, obviously the most recent one, they're still looking for a shortstop, and I think that's important. But I think that at the same time, the way that ownership and Breslow might be looking at it, are with how well the Red Sox have played at 28-5 in their last 33, and they had a 15-game winning streak, obviously within this big stretch. In making moves, you're in a way changing the rhythm and mojo of the team, but at the same time, I think it is good to make a move for someone like Rutschman. But what's different to me in how the deadline has been approached up to this point, because obviously it was a major package going back to Baltimore for Rutschman and Rogers. I think it's different to kind of see the ownership in Breslow or front office in Breslow, I should say, and ownership in Henry kind of make significant changes to what the farm system looks like now.
Guess what, guys?
We got another one.
We've got another trade.
Another one.
All right.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
Rays
Pew, 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 pew.
are
That's
acquiring
my sound
Tyler
effects.
Wells, a right-handed pitcher from the Orioles. Return is TBA.
And that's from Basan.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, Tyler Wells is
He's
going
not
to
that
Baltimore. Return is TBA.
I love your bluntness, Kyler.
Yeah, he's not that good. It's like Dean Kramer going
You're
to
like,
the Twins.
who cares about this bag of
Keeping an
balls?
eye.
Whatever.
Keeping an eye out, but
Go Rays trade. Yep.
Well, that's the thing with the Rays. If I can hop in here
Sure.
for a second.
Hop in, Joey.
All right, sounds good. The Rays are obviously known for the way that they run their organization is very different than your typical major league team, but it's been a benefit for them in terms of the pitching side of things. So getting a guy like Tyler Wells, who's got an ERA under 3 this season, I'm not exactly sure. I can double check on the exact amount of appearances, but if they have things that they like about Tyler Wells, they feel like they can make improvements and he can be someone that can be helpful down the stretch, whether that be out of the bullpen or in a spot start situation.
I think Freddie's the same way, Joey. I think I like that they made the move for Peralta. I love that for them because he was honestly in an organization, like you said, he's like the Jets. He was in an organization like the Jets. It was horrible. So I think going back to a Brewers-like organization in the Rays, the way that they run their teams are pretty much similar. You're going to see these guys kind of use what they do well, like Joey said. But I still think both Dean Kramer and Wells, they weren't playing well, so to speak. And I don't know if either one of them will really be impactful guys, but teams are making moves. You're seeing everybody in the AL East make a move, whether it's marginal or not. You're making a move, and like Joey said, you're also messing with chemistry too. So you don't know how guys are going to mesh. But I like that they got a catcher. I think Joey will agree, right, Joey, that they needed a catcher.
Yeah, I think, and this is where I stand like entirely on the Rutschman trade, is that on the positive side, you without a doubt have upgraded what you had at the catcher position, no matter kind of what the return is, because you were having a mixture of Connor Wong and Carlos Narvaez, and specifically looking at Carlos Narvaez, he was hitting under 200 at this point in the season, which is crazy to think that you had two guys from a Red Sox standpoint consistently in the lineup hitting under 200 in Jarren Duran and Carlos Narvaez, and you've now upgraded that position with the acquisition of Adley Rutschman.
Guess what, guys?
Another one. The
DJ Khaled. Full DJ Khaled here. Another one.
The White Sox are acquiring catcher Joey Bart from the Braves. From Atlanta to the Windy City.
And that's also from Passan.
Yes.
Sounds good.
It's another one.
Another one.
Yes, it's like DJ Khaled.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, you got to wave your arms like an idiot.
Another one.
Exactly.
It's heating up at hour and 5 till the
So
deadline.
the Rays have been busy. They DFA'd Craig Kimbrell. They optioned right-hander Alex Cook down to AAA. They put Jake Fraley on the 60-day injured list. They also, they traded for Liam Hicks from the Marlins, and the Marlins got Braden Taylor. They got, we talked about Peralta and the trade for Peralta. I mean, they've been cooking.
They have.
Yeah, a lot of action down in the Gulf Coast.
I think they're the one team that realizes, hey, we got a shot. Other than the Red Sox, I think that. Although I really think the Yankees aren't full court pressing it.
Red Sox trade.
Stop. Hold the press. Is breaking news.
They're trading Tyler Uberstein. The Red Sox are trading Tyler Uberstein.
Down. Where's it? Jet, you want to hit it? Hit it, Jet.
Sox trade. For Ari Alexander, they are trading Tyler Uberstein. To who? No idea. They haven't said yet. And for what? No idea either. But Tyler Uberstein is moving on. For Tyler Milligan. I assume he's a prospect. Oh, they're trading into Atlanta for Ari Alexander.
Okay.
For who? No idea.
Joey doesn't seem very impressed.
We're going to look into that one, Joey.
He's a pitcher. Uberstein's a pitcher.
Oh, he's a pitcher.
God, I hope we're not getting Sale back.
No, that's not a stat. You don't trade Sale. That trade, I take that trade every day of the week.
Sale? Yeah. I'm joking, though.
That's a joke. Yeah. I know. Win that trade. That's a Red Sox winning that trade immediately.
Yeah, of course. I do wonder, though, if it's more of a prospect for prospect type thing. Especially the thing with Uberstein is that he was, at the start of the season, someone that people thought might break camp with the Red Sox. It really didn't work out that way. But now it'll be interesting to see what they get back and if they feel like they can make an improvement with whoever they do get back in that move.
Yes. I was going to say, could you imagine trading Chris Sale?
I know.
For that guy? That would be nuts.
Nikhil Harry of Major League
So,
Baseball.
yeah. I'm sorry. All right.
And,
David got a little excited.
And
all
we
right.
got another trade.
Oh, we have another trade?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, not really. No. Not really a full. It's not a completed trade.
Yet,
but we have a little bit of news.
The Yankees are working on a trade for Helio Ramos from San Francisco.
With the
Nothing
Giants.
is set in stone yet, but he may be a Yankee in the near future.
There's their outfielder.
I was going to say, that'd be another right-handed bat to their lineup.
Help me understand, and this is just, I'm going to put on my fan hat for just a hot second. Help me understand. You're seeing the Blue Jays being buyers and sellers. You're seeing the Yankees make all kind of news. You know these two teams are ahead of you. Let's set aside the fact that the Red Sox are hotter than hot. They're the hottest team in baseball right now. Like I said earlier, you don't necessarily want to, change too much, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But as a fan, I'm frustrated right now because I don't think my team is doing enough. I think I want to see my team be more aggressive. I want to see let's ship out Mayer, let's ship out Duran, let's do something. Let's just, I don't care what, but I don't know, what do you, just help me as a fan.
The problem is they had the chance to do this last year and they chose not to do it.
So, okay, we're coming up on the top of the hour, which means that we are 1 hour away from the deadline. So keep it right here. We're going to keep everything. You're going to keep you up to date with all the trades. So I'm hoping it gets like hot right now, like pew pew rapid fire.
Oh, it will. It will.
So I don't know that we have any return.
We're
still waiting for the return
for Uberstein. Yeah.
But we have nothing yet.
Just keeping.
But as soon as we find something out, we're going to find out what it is. So So when we come out of this trade, I know Kyler, you had mentioned there's a lot of like inter-league trades. So, and I know that you had also mentioned earlier about how you talked about how it's just the owners are really trying to push this narrative of the lockout. So I just want to remind everybody that, the MLB proposal was, you're talking about a hard salary cap with a $245.3 million payroll cap for 27 and a salary floor with $171.2 million. Let's put this up here. Hold on. Watch this. You're not going to believe what I have here. Oh, as I squish everybody. So let's talk about, so you're talking a 50-50 revenue split of league-wide revenue. You're talking about centralized media revenue and share local media revenue. You're talking about 5 years max with a new team contract length limit, 6 years max if you're re-signing with your current team, a ban on deferred contracts, which I am 100% for. Eliminating qualifying offers, and then raising the minimum salary to $1 million depending on service time, minimum salary increase tied to accepting the cap system. The MLB is counter-proposing a minimum salary of $1.5 million in 27, rising to $2.2 by 2031. Anti-tanking floor system with $150 million spending floor with penalties. You're talking about a luxury tax threshold of $300 million base threshold, and then you're talking about the two arbitration eligibility goes from 22 to 44%. Earlier free agency, ages 30 plus can reach free agency after 5 years of service, eliminating qualifying offers. So that's two things that match. Two things that meet. Expanding the opening day roster to 28 players for the first 15 days, cutting in season option limits from 5 to 3 per player. So that's just some of the things that they're talking about. That is basically what's going to be leading to this lockout. And if you really look at it, look at these teams. What's the heck going to happen to the Dodgers? If this happens, which right now, this is why we're going to have it. What's going to happen to the Dodgers and even the Red Sox and the Yankees and all these other teams? I'm more fascinated, to be honest, by all the people who are below the floor who have to spend up.
Yeah, they got to.
So what do you guys think about? I know this has come up. We haven't really talked about it. We've got a couple minutes here while we wait for more trades to come in. What do you guys think about this?
Joey, go for it.
Go for it, right. Joey.
I'll start it out. I think you were mentioning that it is almost more fascinating to take a look at the teams that are under the cap. And one of the ones that stands out to me on that list is the Milwaukee Brewers, because despite being under the cap for as long as they've been, they're still competing. Obviously, they haven't gotten over the threshold of beating the Los Angeles Dodgers as they're the back-to-back World Series champions. But I think that if they were put in a position where they had to spend a little bit more money, does that put them over the top? That would be an interesting sort of thing to keep an eye on if we do end up getting, whether it be a salary floor or a salary cap. And then I would be interested to see how the roster is changed for the New York Yankees and Los Angeles Dodgers, of course. And then on the bottom of that list, above the cap, are the San Francisco Giants and San Diego Padres, who have invested large sums of money, but don't really feel like they're kind of in the middle, not really sure what direction they want to go in at this point.
Breaking news on the Tyler Uberstein trade. Our return is Eli White per Jared Carabas.
All right. Eli White.
Yes.
All right. So now that we have a little bit
Never
more
heard
intel.
of him, but I'm hoping he can make a splash.
I love Joey. Joey's so fun. He's just like, I love how he laughs. He's just like, whatever.
Eli White.
One thing I can say about Eli White, he feels like he could play a role similar to Nate Eaton for me on this team if he does end up on the major league roster. He's known for his speed, so that is something that can be useful as the roster expands later on in the season, looking for areas where you might need a pinch runner. Maybe that's somewhere where Eli White contributes to this team.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah,
Listen,
I don't take much stock into it until he becomes Jake Bennett all over again. I think
That's going to be tough as an outfielder, but maybe.
well, yeah, but I'm saying like he's gonna have to wow me here. I think he's actually more of a replacement for Duran if you're saying that speed is his game. And I look at I don't know. I look at this as like a who cares kind of thing until I see more.
what do we got some stats for Eli White, David?
Yes. 233 batting average, RBI 17, 5 homers this season.
133 at bats, 17 runs, 31 hits, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs.
For
stolen bases. Hey, don't
and
sleep
a
on
batting
those stolen
average
bases.
of 233.
That's right.
An OBP of 285 and an OPS of 691.
All right, there you go.
David Hamilton all over again in the outfield. Perfect.
That's kind of the thing that I see if he is going to play some sort of.
And he's an outfielder.
Yeah, right field.
Right fielder, yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Unfortunately for him, we have one of the best defensive right fielders in the league. So
he's gonna have to compete.
Well, no, you can't compete. I wouldn't compete.
He's gonna have to
So-
left field.
Fair.
It's hard to compete.
Keep your comments coming in. We love to hear what you think about some of the trades that I've made so far. What do you see? What do you want the Red Sox to do in the next hour? Just keep it coming. We love it. Feed us with those comments. Okay, so I asked this of Kyler before. I'm going to ask this of you, Joey. Who are your top three, absolutely under no circumstance Red Sox that I would trade? And who are your absolutely 3 players that I would say, have at it, take them, they're yours?
3 and 3. The first 2 that popped into my head, on either side. So I'll start with who I would trade. I'd be looking to trade Marcelo Meyer because I don't think he's going to give you much the rest of this season.
Well, lucky for you, he's available.
That's exactly right, according to Chris Cotillo. And I think that they're looking in the right way to sort of get rid of him and looking in the pitching direction for that. And then you look at your prospect pool for possibly acquiring a shortstop in the next 53 minutes, give or take 5 minutes, I guess, because sometimes the paperwork can get done a little bit after the deadline. But I think that he really isn't giving you much, and it might be a benefit for him to almost have a change of scenery from a Marcelo Meyer perspective.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
And then, obviously, the biggest topic of debate throughout the trade deadline talk is whether or not Franklin Arias is going to stay a Red Sox by the end of the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. And I think that if he's going to get moved, you need to be getting a stud that you can have control over for the next coming amount of years. And if you don't have that, I'm not sure I would make the deal. I think that looking at the way the roster is now, Andrew Monasterio and Anthony Siegler have given you more than you could have expected within this good stretch.
I don't think anybody would make an argument with you there. I don't think anybody saw their production coming the way that they've been. I have absolutely agree with you. Keep up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are great, but
they're not enough.
I think that there's still an opportunity there to make a move. And obviously, there's been talk about CJ Abrams. The worry about that for me has been throughout the entire stretch of the deadline is would that take Franklin Arias? But I think that what we've seen from Craig Breslow today is that he's not afraid to take a chunk out of the farm system.
I just
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I wonder about that because like I like to make the equivocation between like having good draft classes that allow you to keep building your roster in football and having a strong farm. Oh, wait, hold on. So sorry. Go ahead, David.
Hassan announced that the Yankees are finalizing the deal to get Ramos from the Giants, Helio Ramos.
And what for what?
I don't know, but they've been it says the Yankees have been seeking right-handed bats, and the deal clears medicals. Ramos were provided.
Okay, so we're waiting for medicals. Okay, we're waiting for the TBA.
Though.
So like I was saying, like I draw a parallel between like making sure that you have like solid drafts, NFL drafts, to be able to continue to infuse youth into your roster to keep your team going, as opposed to like keeping keep having your farm system, because you have to eventually draw from your farm system to keep for the future of your team as well. So I get worried when you start like if they're like like it's one thing trading like Arias, it's another thing trading like it's hard because like Ianson was like their second highest pitching prospect. So I get nervous when they start trading away prospects, because then I start thinking to myself, well, okay, like what does that mean for the future? Like I get it, and you're in win now mode, and you want to try to capitalize on like the opportunity to make it to the World Series this year. But I get worried. I get worried when they start trading away prospects.
The other argument I would make is that they have done a horrible job of developing their young players to an extent. Like look at Marcelo Meyer.
Look at Campbell.
Anthony.
Campbell too. So
Anthony
they overhype these guys. So I feel like you know what? They did start investing in their scouting and development departments again. They were actually cutting back on that for a while. That's how much of a piece of work Henry has been over the last 6 years. I'll give you my real thoughts there. I have a hard time not being blunt, but to be absolutely blunt, I think that you know what, if these guys go for it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Eli White doesn't have an option.
So, there's no. What is it? Somebody just said something about I can't see Duran not getting traded. Who just said that?
No, it's just things. No, Gordo just thinks that Eli White means there's a Duran trade coming or something.
That's interesting.
It's probably nothing.
I think Justin agrees. Yep, Justin, I think agrees. So.
I mean, we'll see. There's still what's it called?
I mean, do you really think that Eli White is like the end of Jaron Duran?
I don't know.
I don't think that's as bad as Duran has been this season offensively. I don't think that's a straight swap for what Eli White could give you. Now, athletically, they can give you similar things, but I'd be interested to see. If I don't, as bad as Duran has been this year, I don't think that Eli White can provide near what the power numbers that Duran has given you this year.
Okay, interesting. I'm just like, all right, let's talk a little bit, because I knew we were talking about the Brewers a little bit earlier when we were referring to them about having to spend up. So they got pitching help, and they made a trade with the Cardinals. They got Dustin May and left-hand reliever Jojo Romero, and the Cardinals got Alexander Frias, which is their number 1 prospect. And number 11 prospect.
And Josiah Ragsdale.
So,
by the way, Dustin May, if you remember, is a former Sox.
That's right,
and
Dustin
he
May.
was absolutely terrible.
Oh my goodness. So
Milwaukee's
they have. So I think that they have to. So I think they score 5.6 runs per game. That's 5th in the MLB. They've allowed 3.83, which is 3rd. Their run differential is plus 132. So I just think like what say you? They're 8-4 in July. Like
another trade.
Another trade. Wait, hold on.
The Brewers are working to acquire reliever Antonio Sensatella from Colorado.
Okay.
Per Ken Rosenthal.
All right. So another trade.
That's breaking news.
All right. Say it one more time.
Return is TBA.
Okay.
They're working on it. It's not complete, but it's going to be happening.
So what? Say that trade one more time.
Ken Rosenthal says that the Brewers are working to acquire Antonio Senzatela from Colorado.
Okay. Do you guys know anything about either one of those guys?
Well, they didn't announce who Milwaukee's getting in return or whatever. No, the Rockies are getting in return somebody.
Sorry.
But Senzatela is a reliever.
Yeah, he is. In his time with Colorado, he started out as a starter. That really didn't work out as well as Colorado, I think, would have hoped. So moving him to the bullpen allows him to kind of have shorter stints of innings, and now that's kind of worked out in success. And the White Sox are in a position now where they can add an arm to their bullpen.
Okay. All right. So let's see. How much time do we have left? Oh, 45 minutes.
45 minutes on the nose.
Red Sox.
Come on, Craig. Do something.
Not happening.
Do your job, Craig.
I mean, okay. So let's just say for argument's sakes, the Red Sox don't do anything else. Nothing else. Oh, I didn't even touch that. That's fun. Okay. I love how my hands were on my lap and yet that went up there. So I don't know what I just did.
Now it's really official.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Sorry, did I do that? I apologize if I did that. Sorry. That was my bad. All right. So, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Now we're back. Okay. I swear to God, my hands were on my lap. And go figure. So let's just say the Red Sox do nothing else. Nothing else.
That's if, not when.
And, well, I mean, we've got 45 minutes, 44 minutes left.
44, yeah.
And let's say they do absolutely nothing else. Like, can this team, as it is, with the catcher addition that we have, and I'm not even going to talk about this last trade because I don't think it's significant enough. Can we make a deep playoff run and potentially get to the World Series with the roster as it stays how it is, like without any other changes?
I worry about shortstop personally.
Oh, Kyler, what do you worry about? You got frozen.
Shortstop. I'm worried about shortstop.
Yes. I agree with you there, which we discussed earlier.
I also think that they could do it the way.
Oh! Breaking news! Jot, hit it.
We got a Sox trade.
Okay. Just as I said something.
Y'all get ready for this.
Get ready for this.
The Giants are close to acquiring Marcelo Mayer from the Sox for reliever Eric Miller.
All right, pitch.
Yeah!
Thing.
Goodbye,
We did something. Oh, wait. And Andrew.
No. That's one of the sources. No. It's just
that's the sources. Okay.
I was like, and I thought they were saying and another player. I was like, sorry, I got excited. All right, wow. Let's talk about this for a second. Here we go. Kyler can't hold it inside. Kyler, go.
Red Sox definitely won that trade.
Oh, definitely. Which is rare to say in this age.
Whoa, my goodness. All right.
And now Meyer will be reuniting with Devers.
All right. So Meyer.
That's a very good point.
Reliever Eric Miller.
Yeah, look where that ended up.
So give me some stats on Eric Miller.
All
right. So Joey, what say you?
I'll start off with a couple of the stats you were asking for. He's got a 2-0 record with a 2.75 ERA. The whip's a little high at 1.38, but I think it's good because you have another pitching upgrade. You can never have enough pitching, especially in the bullpen, and especially someone that throws left-handed. For the Red Sox, obviously this season you've had the experiment with Denny Coulomb that didn't really work out the way the Red Sox wanted. So they have someone who's had a much better season in Eric Miller. And then it's exactly what I thought was going to happen in terms of Marcelo Mayer. He goes back to California, which is a place that he's very familiar with. That's where he grew up. And I think the change of scenery could work out well for him. And David, as you said, he reunites with Rafael Devers.
Yes,
That's
he
right.
does.
Tyler Milliken says someone needs to check on Roman Anthony immediately.
Yeah. The heck with the Roman Empire. Let's get another guy.
All right,
let's trade
so-
Anthony for a shortstop. The
Yeah,
heck with the
so
Roman
I
Empire.
Chris
love it.
Cotillo says Miller has been a
Whoop.
standout lefty in San Francisco's bullpen this year, and as we mentioned earlier, the Sox intensified the shopping of Mayer today. So
Honestly, that's not bad. If they really want to fix their shortstop issue, they could call up Franklin if they want to. I just don't know. I don't know how you fix it.
So let's see. Eric Miller, a left-hander, has a 2.76 ERA, 45 strikeouts, 22 walks, and
pretty
32
good.
2/3 innings. Lefties have a 600 OPS against him this year. Righties 642.
Jeez. Can't believe
Judd,
Breslow done good for this.
So it
for
says
once.
Breslow has now traded 5 of the Red Sox last 6 first-round picks.
Man,
What-
but I gotta
mean,
say,
there's something to
Breslow
be
done
said
good
about
for
that.
once. That's crazy.
There's something so where are you seeing him come in like
moly.
relief, like to share the load with Chapman? Or I mean, as a closer, or is he coming in the middle? Like, where is he?
I see him middle. I see him helping out in the Weissert, Moran, Guerrero
Yeah.
area.
Okay.
Sounds like a Jahmai Jones level steal.
Which,
Sorry, go ahead, Kyler.
which Joey and I, Joey, I don't mean to cut you off here, but I think you'll agree with me because we've talked about this on our pod, how we need a guy to kind of wedge between the Moran, the Slayton, the Guerrero, the wild card, and Greg, the wild card Weiser, and you certainly can wedge this guy in here. The bonus is he's a lefty. And I think the extra bonus is getting rid of Marcelo Meyer. I'm sorry to be so excited, but I am so excited by this trade because I think Marcelo had to go. I think he might
Definitely.
still be a good player, but I think he had to leave Boston. He couldn't handle the heat.
Yeah, I agree. I know that
Yeah,
they
he
had
has a
mentioned
bright
he was
future
having,
ahead of him, though.
I don't know how to say it delicately, but he was having some, let's call it mental challenges,
Growing
dealing
pains.
with the pressure. And I think that, do we have another trade?
We
have another
do.
trade. Oh my goodness.
The Brewers have acquired Rockies right-handed reliever Antonio Senzatela from the Rockies. Oh, we already talked about this, but
Sorry. David got excited. Okay.
it was just
So I think there was some
Nightingale.
thought process that
Turn
like
his
Mayer
CDL.
was soft. Some would say soft. Some would say the pressure was too much for him. We want to be fair.
I'd say he's soft.
Oh my goodness, Kyler doesn't want to be fair.
Okay, to be fair, it is a lot of pressure to play in Boston.
It is.
I think it's a combination.
Like you have to have like balls to play in these big markets. Like you can't give into the pressure. You can't let the pressure get to you. There are very high expectations. You're talking Chicago. You're talking New York. You're talking Boston. You're talking Philly. Like you can't. Every player can fit into these markets.
Yeah, you know what? That's why Boston's so beautiful as a sports town, because they're with you when you win, but they're not.
Oh boy,
when
they'll
lose.
put you right out with the trash if you start to stink.
Exactly.
They'll hate you. They'll hate your extended family. They'll hate I mean, it's mean sometimes. Like they all hate your children, which they shouldn't do. But they'll hate you. You'll be dead to them in like a New York a minute. So
I also think that I think he really needs a reset. Like I think he was a talented prospect, but they also called him up too soon. I'm gonna actually call out ownership on this one for overhyping Marcelo Meyer too early.
Well, I think the combination of Meyer and Anthony, they were like so hot down in Worcester that you brought them up together and you expected you to get the production that you were getting out of the two of them and the hype that was around the two of them, and then it just didn't transfer. Like I still think that Anthony is going to be. I think Anthony can take the pressure. I think that Anthony is still going to produce. It's just so. One thing that just popped into my head that I want to just talk about real quick is, so we talked about like, we're waiting for the medicals on some of these trades. But then you think about it, like, what can we say about like the medical part of the Red Sox staff? Because if you're looking at the injuries that have taken place this season, like you're talking about Crochet, you're talking about Anthony, you're talking about all these guys who've just like are not getting evaluated correctly. Their injuries are turn out to be worse than they are. They're taking much longer to come back. Like, I get a little worried when Red Sox medical staff is approving some of these trades, because I just don't feel like the management of the injuries this season has been very good.
It hasn't. That's the one thing that worries me. And Joey, I know Joey will talk about this too. Rutschman, for example, very good catcher, but he's been hurt 3 times. He really boosted like I said, he boosted my fantasy team early in the year. I had to get rid of him because he wasn't producing and he was sitting on the bench. So he has to get healthy for me. But when healthy, he's a good player, and there's no question for me. And I actually like their move for a bullpen guy. I think they're doing a good job with what they're doing. My only problem is, who's the shortstop?
Yeah, I know. We've got what?
Looks like we finalized the Brewers trade with the Rockies. Antonio Senzatela is going to Colorado in exchange for Mark Manfredi and Juan Martinez, a left-hand pitcher and an infielder.
Okay.
Okay, Colorado is going to continue to struggle.
Why do you say that?
They're just having a hard time. They just can't seem to get it right.
How do you fix Colorado? How do you fix them?
Sell the team,
I think they got to spend money. You got to put a cap floor in versus a salary cap.
Ownership wouldn't work.
A cap is all fine and good, but you have to have a floor.
I agree with the floor 100%. Like, you've got to start getting these teams to spend more money. You have to do it. It has to be done. Like, there is not enough parity in the league. Too many teams. I mean, it's like, well, I guess you have the same problem. It's not as bad in the NFL. I mean, there are definitely your bad teams, but like, I feel like in the NFL, there's more of a chance every year for, like, you never know, you have a good draft, and like look at the Browns. The Browns are a great example. Like, they could have perennially been bad, like the Rockies are, but the Browns, they're coming back around again. And if they could just get a quarterback, then the sky's the limit for them. But like, you don't see that in Major League Baseball. You're seeing the same few teams at the top, the ones that'll spend, your Dodgers, your Yankees, and then you're seeing the teams that mismanage, like the Mets, who they're willing to spend the money, but they can't get anywhere. But you don't see the teams down at the bottom like rise up, and it's a problem.
Yeah, I actually think that whatever you call them, A's are an example of that.
The A's, yeah.
The A's that are eventually going to Vegas, they're technically Sacramento. They've always been Oakland to me. They're 3 cities in a few years. So but the point is, they have, and Jet, I got to give you credit. You put a video out about all of the different cores that they've had. They've had so many farm system groups that have come up, and then when it's time to spend, they trade them, and then they're not good for another 5 years. And it's just like, all right, how you fix this is a floor. It's that simple.
I agree. All right, David, what do you got?
Yes, the Yankees are expected to include Caden Kent, the son of Jeff Kent, who is a Hall of Famer, in the trade with the Giants for Ramos. This means that Kent and Bonds are back together once again in San Francisco. The Giants drafted Peyton Bonds, who is Barry Bonds' nephew, in this year's draft.
That's a lot of Bonds.
A lot of famous kinder.
All right, so I'm curious to see if anybody has any comments, like anybody who's watching has any comments about this Marcelo Mayer trade. Let us know what you're thinking about it. And so we're coming up on 32 minutes for the Red Sox to come up with a shortstop. Brezzo, get on the phone, my man, and get us.
Joey's going to be playing shortstop for me.
Oh, they don't want that.
Oh, no, it's just
you got the wheel.
By the way, Eric Miller is 6'5", 269. So
he's tall
and big.
That's a football player.
Yeah, he's like a blocking tight end. He's beefy.
I think it's going to be good for them. I do. And Breslow was a reliever.
What's that? I'm sorry. Keep going, Kyler.
Breslow was a reliever, so I feel like he'll make a move that feels underrated. I think they've already won this trade, obviously.
This is the best trade of the day, I think.
Yes.
I think it was time to move on.
I agree. Like we had said earlier, I just don't think Meyer had the let's call it the fortitude.
Yes.
I don't
To
think he
be-
had the
That's one way
professionalism
to-
either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
It
it?
just
Who?
wasn't there.
Yeah, I know that he was having. I think they would have sent him back down to Worcester had he come back anyway.
That's fair. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
Go-
if I could, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no.
Go ahead. I'll jump in
no.
afterwards if you want.
no, you go.
The other interesting, I think that adding a reliever is never necessarily a bad thing, and he has things that stand out. Obviously, his build is interesting, but it's interesting to see that this is what happened with Marcelo Meyer after in the offseason missing out on a potential trade for Ketel Marte, which would in essence, that would make a difference in what your infield looks like now. But now that leaves still a glaring issue at shortstop, which we've been talking about for
Yes,
the entire
absolutely.
for the
Let's talk a little bit about the White Sox. Like they're the leader in their division, which I don't think that
That's
anybody
surprising. Yeah.
anybody
they are
saw
usually
coming.
terrible. They're
Yes.
terrible.
So they're also looking for pitching. Like I don't know. What do you think? I don't have they even made any trades? I don't think.
Yeah, they have. They got Luis Castillo, which I like.
Oh yes.
Veteran
So-
starter.
Can they, okay? It's a two-part question. Can the White Sox sustain, and do they know what it takes? Because like we talked about this, like you have to be used to winning. You have to be used to success. Like, can they keep it up?
They're so young. I would have to say that if they make the playoffs, it's a success. And I also got a comment here. We haven't talked about this a lot, and I think we should.
Okay.
It's that the Red Sox have the third best record in the American League, and it's all three American League East teams that lead the league in wins. So
That's true.
So I look at this and say, your three strongest teams are the Rays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. And the way the Red Sox have been playing, I think they're the number one team in the American League now. But I don't see it really being a sustainable thing. I like the move of a Castillo because he's a veteran guy who knows how to eat innings and, teach some of these younger guys how it's done. But you saw it with the Red Sox last year. Connolly Early, for example, against the Yankees, it didn't go well. Like, you need guys who are veterans in there, and I'm not sure they have enough of those. You can argue Benny or whatever, but
even he's on the older side now, so you don't know.
yeah, I mean, but he's not even good anymore.
So I think do you have any thoughts about the early trade?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you're like, yes, I do.
Yeah, sure. I can give you some, and then I'll let Joey in on it. But yeah, I think when you look at, I think it had to. I think he was the odd man out of this rotation this year, and yeah, I get that they need starters and all of that, but they have so many lefties, and when you can get a bat like a Curtis Mead, you didn't know that he was going to get hit in the hand and he was going to be out right away. That was a bit rough, but honestly, it's a young starter for a young bat, both with control, and that it's an eye for an eye, if you will, retribution, eye for an eye. Type of trade. Go ahead, Joey. I know you want to talk about this.
Which trade? Sorry, I was looking at
early.
Early.
Oh, on the Connolly Early trade. Yeah, I think that. I think I was a little bit shocked when it first happened. I think my initial reaction was that if we were going to trade Conley early, I would have preferred it to be in a bigger deal where you're ending up getting.
I agree with you there. Yep.
Where you end up getting someone like CJ Abrams, but it wouldn't just be that. There'd be more movement within the Red Sox farm system. But now, depending on how high the price is for someone like CJ Abrams, if you want to make that deal, you might have to bring Arias into the conversation, which means that you're having a deadline where you're trading your top two prospects, albeit in separate deals, but you're making a serious change to what your farm system looks like for the hope that you win a World Series in the next 3 to 5 years without knowing what 2027 is going to look like.
They will. They will. I think with having a reliever, it makes me feel a lot better. Like I said, the only need for me is shortstop.
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
All right, do we have another trade?
We do.
We do.
Cleveland is acquiring Foster Griffin from the Nationals per Passan and a bunch of other guys.
All right, so we have that, and then we have the trade for Joe Adell, where they with the Angels that they got catching prospect Jacob Cozart, and then they designated Juan Brito for assignment to free up a spot on the 40-man roster. So that is what the Guardians have been up to today. So what do you guys think about this trade?
Which one, the Griffin trade or the other?
No,
one?
the new trade. The new trade, obviously.
Yeah, Foster Griffin.
Yeah, I mean, Foster Griffin is someone who's kind of burst onto the scene. I didn't know a ton about him until he was having success this year, and so it adds to a rotation of some younger guys on the Cleveland side. And then if I could add a little bit of thoughts on Adele, I think it says more about the Angels to me than it does about the Guardians, because I think that, and I've seen this reaction from Angels fans on social media, they're semi-rejoicing in the fact that they've finally gone in the direction of a full sell rather than the middling that Red Sox fans have also dealt with in the past. But they're looking to refresh the direction of the team by selling guys like Joe Adell, Reed Detmers, Ryan Zephyr-John.
So it looks like the Nationals are getting 4 players back from the Guardians in the Foster Griffin trade.
Presumably prospects.
Yeah.
A variety of prospects. Jeez.
That seems a lot.
Twins acquired Jeff Hoffman from the Athletic.
All right, Ken Rosenthal.
They're really
from the Blue
it.
Jays.
That's my thought.
What's that?
They're going for it.
Yeah,
With their
Yes,
Blue
they
Jays
are.
Sending Hoffman.
Yeah. So
I like the Minter
Tiny
deal
soda.
too for Minnesota.
Yep. Let's see. I know that we didn't
It's
talk
heating up
about.
now. Whew.
It is heating up. We've got 24 more minutes.
Talk goes the
Come on,
pot.
Breslow. I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to charge
Wake 'em up.
Breslow's charge Breslow's Apple Watch. Maybe it died and he doesn't know how much time is left.
Yeah.
Or
Did
maybe
we
he
talk
thought it was
about?
tomorrow.
So let's talk about the Mets for a little bit. The Mets have been clear sellers. They traded with the Pirates
Luke Weaver.
Luke
They got
Weaver.
Sammy Staforo, who, by the way, interesting factoid about Staforo, he grew up a diehard Mets fan.
Well, that's interesting.
It's like a little bit of a Cinderella story for him.
So I want to say, like, what can the Mets do to stop netting?
Trade Lindor to the Red Sox. I'd be down with that at this point.
Why aren't they?
Everybody wins.
Why aren't they trading Lindor?
Because their front office is
because nobody wants his horrendous contract.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad contract.
But I do think he's got to stop netting at some point, if you will. So I think that would be a buy low candidate. Okay, I'm not saying you should, but now that Neto and Abrams really aren't on the table,
so
where do you go? It's like me and Joey playing shortstop at this point.
They've traded away like so many pitchers. They've
Fire
traded
sale.
away
Everyone
their left-handed
must
reliever,
go.
Brooks Raleigh. They traded away their right-handed reliever, Huascar Brazoban. They've traded away. They also flipped.
We got breaking news.
Breaking news.
The Minnesota Twins are acquiring reliever Jeff Hoffman in a trade with Toronto.
Wow.
Apparently, Hoffman broke the news himself to his teammates.
Oh, dear.
Huh.
I'm
I'm
sorry, I
being
shouldn't laugh at that.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys. I'm being traded.
I
See
was
ya.
like, bye, Felicia.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, I
goodness.
shouldn't laugh
That's
at that.
definitely one way to break a trade.
I've
All
never
right.
heard of that one before.
Oh, my
Yeah.
Lord.
Per me, I'm being traded.
Okay. That'd be
I'm
funny.
at
No,
least-
no more Rosenthal needed for this one.
Just-
You got Hoffman himself who's
Oh, my
willing to
Lord.
report it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right. What do you think about that trade?
I mean, returns TBA.
We don't know what the return is yet, so hard to make a full assessment.
I like it for the Twins. They're going for it. They just got AJ Minter as well. And those are both guys who you can use in the later innings. I know Hoffman hasn't had his best year, but I think he can bounce back on a team that's ready to go. So
Yeah, from a Minnesota perspective, it's interesting because of how low or how mediocre the American League is this year. They've been middling around 500, but they're still in the mix. So I think, excuse me, the decision to both go out and get AJ Minter and now Jeff Hoffman um, is showing you that they're looking to make marginal improvements where they can. My biggest question with Jeff Hoffman is what sort of role he plays in Minnesota, because he lost his closer role earlier this season in Toronto.
So
a lot
okay,
of big things happening in tiny soda.
as we get past the trade deadline, which ends in 20 minutes, we
Yes,
want to look at like the playoff order. So obviously
Yes.
your AL leaders are the Rays, the White Sox, and the Rangers, and then the wild card spot is Yankees,
Yankees,
Red Sox,
and
Guardians,
Cleveland,
and then
yeah.
you have
In the hunt.
you have teams that are chasing, which are the Twins, the Astros, the Orioles, the Mariners, Tigers, Blue Jays. They're all
How are the
chasing.
Blue
So
Jays doing this? They're
where do
last
you
in the
see
division. It's
for this
crazy.
as we leave the trade deadline and we go forward? Do you see this order changing? Who do you think as a result of these trades is going to make a push and can maybe work their way into a wild card spot? Like who I guess the Guardians. Let's say the Guardians are most at risk to lose their wild card spot because they have the third wild card spot. So who do you think from the Twins, the Astros? Well, maybe not. I don't know about the Orioles, but the Twins, the Astros. I'm going to say the Mariners, the Tigers, the Blue Jays. Who do you think is going to make?
Tigers definitely not making it now that they've traded Scooble. I'll say this: I really like the Twins in the bullpen additions that they've made, and how they've played as of late. I also think you could probably make the argument for the Astros. I don't think the Rangers hold their division down. I think the Astros will do it. I really do. They just traded for Barshow, so I like that move for them.
Okay.
Yeah, the interesting
Jordan Alvarez is a beast too.
the interesting thing about the Astros too is that they've been on enough of a hot streak where they now have a 2.5 game lead on the Rangers for the division, and we've seen the Rangers make a couple of at least one selling move that is on the top of my head, and getting rid of Josh Smith, who went to the Blue Jays, and then also Nathan Eovaldi's been a guy that's been talked about in deals as we are inside of the final 20 minutes, as you can see from Pete's comment. But I think that AL West is very close, and I think now maybe with the way that the AL Central is, Cleveland's only three games out of the top spot in that division, which would also make some movement in that AL wild card. And then it's going to come down to the question of, which we brought up earlier, can the White Sox sustain the success that they've had throughout the rest of the season?
So if we're going to talk about the AL, let's talk about the NL. So you've got your Dodgers, you've got your Brewers, you've got your Braves, and then the wild card is Cubs, Phillies, Diamondbacks. So making a push are the Padres, the Pirates, the Nationals, the Marlins, the Cardinals, and the Reds. Those are so of those teams, who do you think has a legitimate chance after all these trades that went through to make a push to get into the playoffs?
Dodgers.
No, I meant
stay
to make it to the wild card.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Padres, picked it up a little bit. I think they can play better than they have. You saw Robbie Ray go to the Padres. I like that move for them. I also think when you look at I don't really see the Pirates are kind of like the Jets too, in my opinion. They're okay. I think they'll find a way to kind of stumble a little, but Charrington's done a good job there. I really like the Cubs who already hold the Cubs. I like the Cubs actually. I think the Cubs potentially take uh could potentially take the top spot in that division. So
Okay.
Yeah, they're comfortably in the top wild card spot as it stands, 4 games up on the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have a tough division now. They had a tough division before, but obviously they're gonna be facing schoolboy down the stretch against the Dodgers, which will be an interesting situation for all of the NL West. But looking at sort of some of the things that Kyler was saying, in striking distance within the National League, you have the Miami Marlins and Pittsburgh Pirates, who are sort of middling around in that 500. As I mentioned, some of the wild card teams, the San Diego Padres are the closest, and the most recent report with them is that they're looking to acquire Lars Nootbaar, an outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay, so what did
we
you
have
have,
an
David?
announcement on the return for Hoffman. The return is Dasan Hill, John Klein, and Damuri Pena will be going to Toronto.
All right.
I assume all are prospects
Okay. Sounds good.
because I've never heard of these guys. So,
all right. So let's see. We've got just under 15 minutes left.
Yes,
I mean,
14
I don't want to
to
put the
go.
cart before the horse, but I'm feeling like we're not getting any more Red Sox trades today with 15 minutes to go. You never know. Craig Breslow could pull one out out of the rabbit's hat, out of the magician's hat, like with seconds to spare. But it's looking like it's not going to be happening, and these are the moves. So again, we want to talk about the catcher Adley Rutschman and Jake Rogers that we got with the Orioles for Anthony Ianson, who's Boston's number 2 prospect, right-handed pitcher Kyson Witherspoon, Boston's number 4, and is it Endy Azokar, Boston's number 5, and of course catcher Carlos Navea, and a player to be named later. Oh, what?
We got the return for Foster Griffin.
Oh, okay.
Pitchers Will Dion, Josh Hartle, holy moly, Kendaglis Vergez, and outfielder Nick Mitchell.
Okay.
That third guy.
And of course,
that is a weird
we have
name.
the trade that just happened.
Meyer for Miller.
So that seems to be the summation of what is happening in the trade deadline. Again, we're hoping that that Breslow will do something in the next, 13 minutes.
Lucky 13.
But what do you guys think so far? If that's all we've done, what say you?
I still like the moves that they've made, but I don't know what you do at shortstop. That is the one position I see. I feel like you can kind of rotate different guys at second till Curtis Meade comes back. Like, that's fine. But to not have anybody, and Pete just said that the Sox always covet their prospects and their fans rip them. I feel like fans will rip them for giving up so much. That's so true. Listen, I agree with you, Pete. I think that for me, like, I hear so many people talking about the early trade. Oh, don't trade early. We needed a bat. And yes, he got hurt, whatever. But you had to give up something to get – you got a premium catcher. I really like that. And I like that you were able to turn a bad shortstop into a reliever who can help you down the stretch. But I don't like that they haven't made the move for a shortstop because
I agree.
who's going to play that position?
I would have liked to have seen, like we talked about earlier, would have liked to seen just some kind of starting pitching, and I would have liked to have seen shortstop. So it's kind of a bummer, but what do you got, David?
The new trade. The Diamondbacks are acquiring Lars Nootbaar from Arizona, St. Louis.
Good move.
Lars Nootbaar. That's his name?
That's a great name.
That is his name.
That's a fun, is it like Swiss or something? That's
all right. Keep going.
Oh my lord.
The interesting thing about that is they swooped in and stole him from the Padres, who was the most recent report connected to Lars Nootbaar. Most people might know him. Those that aren't Cardinals fans will know him from his time on the Japan WBC team in 2 World Baseball Classics ago. Now I believe, but it's outfield depth for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I like that move for them. Mike Hazen, good old friend. So yeah, I think it's a good opportunity there. I don't think it's like anything earth shattering, but I think that it gives them a little bit of depth in the outfield. They're kind of a team that's on the bubble. Why not make a move?
Yeah, and if we could, can I go back to our Adley discussion very quickly?
Sure.
Because I wanted to add to that comment right there from Pete, saying that Adley's an unrestricted free agent in 2028. So currently you have him for another year and a half or so. And I think that with the idea that you gave up so much prospect capital, I wouldn't be shocked if the Red Sox are looking to extend him. I don't know if that will happen this season or it could happen in the winter. I know that a good chunk of these star athletes don't like to negotiate contracts during the season, so I wouldn't be shocked if that happens more into the winter, I should say. And I think that would soften the blow a little bit in terms of the prospect capital if you could know for sure that you have a catcher for the foreseeable future years down the road, as Rutschman's only 28. At this point, if you were able to get an extension done, he would slot in as your number one catcher. And as of now, not knowing how much longer Connor Wong's going to be here, you also have Franklin Primera in the minor league system as a catcher.
Okay, so we have 7 minutes left?
8
minutes left, sorry. It's math, hate it. So again, this might be all we do. So this might be all we get, and I don't know what Craig Breslow's going to pull out in 8 minutes, but if we want to kind of go around the horn and we want to talk about who do we think are the biggest winners and losers from the MLB trade deadline, I'm going to say the Dodgers because they traded for everybody under the sun.
Shocker.
I mean, and I think the Red Sox really, I think they did what they did.
Yeah,
I think they
really
get
silver.
They did something. They did something to really help them in areas of need. And I would say I think the White Sox were winners today.
Yeah, they're definitely
I would also say as far as losers are concerned, for me, I'm going to say the Orioles, the Tigers, the Mariners, and the Angels. I mean, obviously, it depends on how you define loser. I mean, if you are losing, are you really a loser? Because you traded away and you're realistic and you're trying to build for the future. And before I jump in, I do want to remind everybody that we're going to be on until 6:15. So don't duck away at 6 o'clock just because the deadline's over. We're going to keep going through it. And we're just going to talk to make sure that nothing pops up at the last second.
Yes.
So yes. Sorry. So I feel like
7 minutes.
the Orioles, they traded away Rushman and the Tigers traded away Schoolball, and the Mariners they traded away Castillo. So I don't know. Who do you say are your winners and your losers when you say the trade deadline?
Go ahead, Joey.
I think you nailed it with the two LA teams. I think coming away with Tarek Skubal for the Dodgers is a huge win for them. Now the question turns to, can they extend him so it's not just a glorified rental? And then if they do that, not only do they have extreme starting pitching depth that we talked about before the stream even started, but then you have someone who I believe is the best pitcher in the game, even if he's not necessarily directly in the Cy Young conversation this year. He's won the Cy Young in the past. So I absolutely do have them as winners. And then looking at the Angels, obviously they came in as sellers. So from them, they might look at it as, we did what we wanted to do, but you lost a lot of your offensive firepower in Joe Adele, and Jose Soriano was one of your top pitchers as well, along with Reed Detmers. So big pieces of the core no longer part of the situation for the Angels.
I gotta say, I agree with Joey on the LA thing. The Kings of the lockout have won the day. I also think, and the weekend overall. Evaldi with a no trade clause won't be traded today, is what I'm seeing in the comments. That's a shame because I'd love to see Boston get him back for the postseason.
Yeah, that would be nice.
He's a great postseason pitcher.
Here comes my cat.
Yeah, your cat has been. I've seen the whiskers like 700 times already at this point. But I was gonna say that I think that the Cubs actually did a good job. I think the Twins did a decent job. Adding a pair of relievers. The Rays were certainly active with Liam Hicks and adding a couple of starters in Peralta and Wells. Yeah, I think my losers, or my not really winners, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'd put Toronto in the winners column or the losers column. All
right. Hold on 1 second. Let's squeeze one in right under the wire with 4 minutes to go. And remember, keep watching after 6 o'clock because we're going to keep it going until 6:15. Go ahead. Hit it.
The Guardians are acquiring Nathaniel Lowe in a trade with Cincinnati.
With the Reds.
So from one side of Ohio to the other.
Well, at least he doesn't have to move.
Well, another former Red Sox on the move.
Yeah, I like that move too.
He's a Guardian.
All right. Why do you like that move?
He can be a spark plug. I think you saw that in Boston when they acquired him. I think that you don't have to give up much for him. I think that with the teams involved, especially the Guardians, they did a little bit of buy, a little bit of sell. And, you're not really in it. You're not really out of it. So you make a move without having to give up much.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Unless Breslow's going to pull out some sort of a miracle, I don't think we're going to get any more trades out of the Red Sox today. So,
barring something,
let's just kind of, like I said earlier.
Paperwork isn't all.
What is
we
that?
Got another trade.
Another trade. Hold
on. The
on.
Marlins are acquiring right-hand reliever Victor Vodnik from the Rockies in exchange for Connor Norby, an infielder, and right-hander Aiden May. Passan with it first.
That's Passan. Okay.
Yes,
Not sure about that trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you mean by that?
You might be seeing a lot of
obviously Colorado's selling.
Yes, obviously. Well they should.
Yeah, honestly, I would have liked to see Brennan Bernardino come back. That was my lefty that I had put in the trade targets. But they went out. They still went out west, and they listened to me to get a lefty reliever. But I certainly. I don't know. I think Bernardino is a solid option. I think that the guys that they've traded, have we seen them really pitch outside of Colorado? A lot of the hitters' numbers are inflated in Colorado. That's why I'm not really in on a Hunter Goodman. That's why I really like Adley Rutschman. who plays within the division. He knows the pressure, sort of thing. I just like that overall.
What about you, Joey?
Um, in terms of the trade, yeah, I think especially relievers on not so good teams. I think that you're looking for someone that can give you depth, and then just in general, we were kind of circling back around to everything the Red Sox have done up to this point. Assuming that, I mean, something could come in after 6 o'clock, but if this is it, I if I had to go into Craig Breslow's head, I think that Anthony Siegler and Andrew Monasterio have played so well to the point where there's something that is telling the front office and Craig Breslow that they're fine with what they have. But my biggest worry within that, and I'm not saying that I agree with Breslow, my biggest worry within that is it sustainable? And I'm not sure that it is, because we've seen Anthony Siegler's playing time go down with Nick Sogard, and Nick Sogard is going to be in that sort of middle infield platoon, I guess, with a multitude of different players. And then the goal would be that you get Curtis Meade back, which isn't a guarantee at this point. But then with the issue in shortstop, and we saw one of these reports came out. It might have been Gordo, that the Red Sox would possibly think about putting Caleb Durbin at shortstop in late inning situations.
Well,
All right,
we know that we passed the trade deadline at 6:01 p.m., but guess what? Someone squeaked it in right
Kirby
under the
Yates
wire.
is going to Pittsburgh.
Kirby Yates is going to the Pirates,
Yes,
says Ken Rosenthal.
yes.
We don't really know what for, what's the return.
I mean,
we
I'm
don't know
sure
much of anything, but
there will be a
this is
handful
it.
of deals still trickling in during
Yep.
the next 30 minutes.
So the next
for
30
sure.
minutes is going to be some deals
Like
trickling
Padres
in. Oh,
getting Casey Mize.
oh, what?
Casey Mize to the Padres.
I don't think that's it.
Mize.
Casey
Sorry.
Mize.
Right?
Sorry.
Casey Mize to Padres.
Tigers are losers.
Yes, the Tigers are.
Yeah, I think that's the official where they've kind of given it up on this year, taking both Skubal and Mize out of their rotation. Now they've got.
I like that for the Padres, though. Good
Yeah.
move.
The Pirates made another trade. They're acquiring right-handed reliever Lake Bashar from the Marlins.
I have to be honest. I'm a little surprised at the Marlins and the moves that they're making. They're not that far out of it, and I thought that they would be a little bit more aggressive. I'm a little surprised to see them trading away more than taking in.
Man, I can't believe that's crazy. The Padres just.
They don't know how to
the Pirates just got like.
They don't know how to win.
Two pitchers in like the span of 5 minutes. That's crazy.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
Yates and Bachar.
Do you have any thoughts on this little barrage of trades that just came through?
I like the trade for the Padres. I'll put them in the winners column. I like Casey Mize enough. Now, he's not Skubal, but him and Robbie Ray give the Padres depth. Preller's always going for it. I love it. I do. I have to admit, I like Preller. I like Dylan Dave. I like that style. Dombrowski would have brought in a shortstop, though.
Yeah. So Robbie Ray and Mize, that's big pieces for the Padres.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious, I'm curious
on
the
what
opposite
other
side, like now you're
trades.
talking about the Tigers who just gave up, all that pitching.
Every pitcher they have.
What are they thinking?
They're not in it. They're punting.
I think they're
on the
tanking.
season.
Yeah,
I guess so.
that is a good point.
So wow.
Orioles are keeping Trevor Rogers.
See, that's an interesting one, because I was wondering if the Red Sox, I was wondering at one point earlier this afternoon if the reason that it was taking so long to have the Rutschman deal finalized was because it was going to end up being a bigger one, and the Red Sox possibly would add a starter in Trevor Rogers. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I think that for people that are upset about the multitude of prospects that the Red Sox gave up, it would have been different if the Red Sox added a starting pitcher within that.
Okay, so according to Alex Spire, there will be no buzzer beater deals for the Red Sox. They're done.
They done so.
Oh, Alex Spear, my favorite Elton John lookalike.
The Dodgers made another move.
GPT and he looks like Elton John. But to bring in my point here, what are we going to do now? Are we going to pray that Arias comes up? I mean, is that really going to be the idea here?
I guess it's starting to look like that. You said, David, we've got one more move.
Another Dodgers trade.
Another Dodgers.
They're getting catcher.
Hey, why not Dodgers? Take all the players.
Former Rays catcher Hunter Fiducia.
Fiducia from the Rays.
Is going to the Dodgers.
For catching
Are we
depth.
surprised?
Catching depth for the Dodgers.
Are we surprised? No.
They don't have 4 catchers on their roster.
Why not? Well, I mean, if I were the Dodgers, I would just take everyone off, every good player off of every person's roster and call it a day, and then defer all their contracts out to the future and keep going.
While you still can.
While you still can. So I know we talked about this. So it looks like the Red Sox are done for today. So we know that we have the Meyer, and we know that we have the how do you say his last
Miller?
name? No, Meyer.
Oh, Rushman.
Thank you. And that's what they
Rushman.
did. So
And Eli White.
how would you grade their trade deadline? Oh, wait, is that another one?
No, it's more.
Sorry.
It's
How would you grade
Julio
this
Ramos
trade
is-
deadline for them?
B plus.
B plus.
Uh,
Why?
because
Just says, yeah.
they didn't get the one position they needed.
Shortstop.
Yeah.
That like they brought up that they needed a shortstop and they didn't go get a shortstop. So how can I say that it's an A when he hasn't done that and he's not going to? However, he did add a much needed extra reliever type of guy. And he also did add Rutschman, who I think is going to really add to this offense.
Okay. What about you, Joey? Where does your grade?
I was gonna say B minus, so I'm in a similar range to
Interesting.
how I'm in a more similar range, but you can talk me into anywhere. You can I'm easy.
I'm like,
It's
what?
just Uberstein. It's the Uberstein.
Oh, I'm like,
trade.
what? I got so excited.
Yeah, but we do have 2 other.
Go, David.
We do have 2 other trade announcements. Helio Ramos trade is official. The Giants will get left-hand pitcher Henry Lalane and infielder Caden Kent in return. Meanwhile, the Padres, in addition to Mize, also got Gage Workman from Detroit in exchange for Cash Mayfield and Jackson Wolf.
All right. So,
Those 2
yeah.
trades are official.
I mean, so, okay, here's why I would kind of meet you in the middle. Like, I'm glad that they didn't give up Arias, even though, like, maybe he gets called up, maybe he doesn't get called up. I just didn't want to give him away for, like, nothing. So had he been included in any of the trades that they did, like, how would you have felt about that?
Not well, unless they got a shortstop in return.
So, Joey.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I wouldn't immediately like it. You could convince me if they got CJ Abrams, because I think that CJ Abrams is still young and he was having a very solid season. Him and James Wood stay as the offensive core of the Nationals up to this point. We'll see if they can make a turnaround, or we'll be having very similar conversations at next year's deadline if nothing changes for the Nationals. But if I could add something Nationals-wise, they wanted 4 prospects in return for Foster Griffin. So I can only believe that there would have been even more.
All right.
We got more breaking news, more details about the Meyer trade. The Red Sox will also receive minor league outfielder Carlos Gutierrez, the number 17 prospect in the San Francisco system.
Okay. So yeah, he's number 24th ranked prospect in the Giant system. He has spent 2026 in high A, 83
Could be a
games,
Worcester guy.
357 PA. He's got 9 home runs, 18.2. I don't know what that says. Sorry.
This looks like he plays second.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
2B, second base.
Sorry, second base. And
but yeah, I'm not mad for this for Worcester.
All right, you're not mad at that?
I mean,
yeah. All right. So what do you think about? Okay, so now we know that we got an outfielder as part of the return from Meyer, somebody who is a decent prospect in the Giants system. So what do you guys say about that addition?
Good to get a prospect, but I'm more interested in the relief arm that they got.
Miller, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm sorry. I feel like we interrupted somebody. I don't remember. Oh, you were talking about Joey. You were talking about the Brewers. Who are you talking about?
Oh, I was adding on to some thoughts about the Nationals.
So, the Nationals. Sorry.
In the Foster Griffin deal, they got 4 prospects in return. Foster Griffin does have 12 wins this year, and I know that wins are a very controversial stat for starting pitchers to some baseball fans. But the fact that he has 12 wins shows me that he was putting the team in position to win when he was on the mound, and they executed it at least 12 times. Enough for him to get a decision, I should say. And if he's warranting 4 prospects, I can only imagine that C.J. Abrams would have taken more major league talent plus a haul of prospects as well. So that brings me back to, would it have been more likely if they made it part of the Curtis Mead and Conley Early deal? Because if not, I think that you would have had to give up Franklin Arias to make that deal. And in general, I'm happier that Arias is still a part of the team.
All right. Wow.
Honestly, I kind of disagree because I don't know who's going to play shortstop here. Like, is Monasterio really good enough defensively?
Yeah.
No, I guess what I mean in saying that is if it was a bigger deal, I probably would have done it. But doing them separately, that becomes more of a question to me.
I actually agree with you there. Like Early and Arias would be a decent return for sure.
Yes, I agree. So I feel like, okay, in these last 4 minutes, let's see. Go ahead,
We
David.
got another. The Rangers made a trade. Texas Rangers sending Josh Smith to the Blue Jays.
All right.
That's the only trade they did, by the way, today.
Earlier.
Well, another interesting thing about the Rangers is that Jacob deGrom vetoed a trade with his trade clause.
Yeah. All right. So in these last 3 minutes, let's go through the trades again. Red Sox in, Red Sox out. And just as a reminder, Jet is going to make a breakdown of everything in a video for you. So make sure you go to JStock and check out his breakdown. They're awesome. Everything, all the content he puts out together, it's great. So let's see. Red Sox in, Adley Rutschman, Jake Rogers, Eric Miller, Eli White, cash considerations. Red Sox out, David?
Meyer, Ianson, Witherspoon, Azokar, Narvaez, Uberstein, and a player to be named later.
All right. So that's who we've got. And in this last 3 minutes of time,
and don't forget about Gutierrez, the new guy we got in the Meyer trade.
And Gutierrez, who just got added in onto the Meyer trade. That's right. Yes. So remember, JStock's going to make a breakdown of everything for you. You be on the lookout for that. And of course, you guys, when's your next show, Joey and Kyler?
We'll be going live on Wednesday, and we'll be breaking down everything related to the Red Sox deadline, and we'll also we'll do one of our typical whip around episodes with all the latest news in the world of Boston sports, which will be live on Wednesday afternoon.
Great.
Yeah. Yes. Sounds good, Joey.
And of course, Clutch Mode Pod. We're always Saturdays at 7:00. We're gonna also do the weekend review where we're gonna look at, what the trades were, what the trade implications are, and just talk a little bit about what's going on in the league, as well as everything that happened in all your New England sports. So we've got that covered for you this week as well. So make sure that you guys check out JStock's content, check out Titletown Rundown, check out Clutch Mode Pod, and go to boston.card.co, and that's card with 2 R's. All kinds of breakdowns about the deadline on the Boston Sports Zone. So we wanted to make sure we get that in under the wire in the last minute that we're here live with you. And so any closing thoughts?
Wicked Risker tomorrow
Is there a
night.
trade? David?
No. Just the return for Bashar. The Marlins are acquiring pitcher Brandon Bidwa. What is it? Infielder Hyun Seung Lee and outfielder Brian Sanchez, who are all prospects.
All right, so that's interesting. And again, we would be remiss if we don't mention that Jared Duran did not get traded. So let's remember that. So it said the Red Sox kept Jared Duran and conveyed to him late during today's trade window that they were keeping him. The playing time shuffle with Eli White, Jahmai Jones, and others is still of interest moving forward. So they did tell him they weren't going to trade him.
There's still the window.
Yeah, he's not going to play against lefties. That's how that's going to go.
All right, so we're pretty much down to the wire. Yes. Any closing thoughts?
I'll let
you finish.
No, go ahead, Joey.
Joey, go.
Just to add on to that quick platoon, it'll be interesting to see how the at-bats against lefties get split up between Jahmai Jones and Eli White.
Okay, and what about you, Kyler?
I think, I actually think it was a decent deadline. I am disappointed that they didn't get a shortstop because I think that was the one position that make an argument on.
Justin Gurjett agrees with you.
And I think that, I actually think that their rotation is okay. I think they'll be okay. But I think they really could have used that one more guy in the middle infield, whether it's second or short or wherever, somebody that can play second and short. I know that Trevor Story's that guy, but is Trevor Story really going to be available in September or October?
I mean, we have to look at is Crochet coming back? Is Anthony coming back? Is Story coming back? How does that impact the groove that this team is in right now? You're talking about Brian Bayo. Don't ever let that man start another game, but he's been amazing out of relief. It's a vote of confidence for Bayo, just saying that we believe in you, we believe in this pitching, and we believe that you could take us into the playoffs. So I feel it's just it's really interesting to see, what goes on for the rest of the season, and I believe at the beginning of the season, when the Red Sox were terrible, the one message that the organization kept saying is we believe we have the right players. And I feel if they either one of two things, if they didn't think they needed a shortstop, or they just couldn't come up with a deal to get a shortstop, then they must believe that they have the pieces, whether they bring up Arias or they don't bring up Arias, so they, help bring along Monasterio or whatever it is that they do, they have always contended and kept saying that they believe they have the pieces. Is there another trade, David?
Sort of, yeah. The Cardinals have acquired left-handed reliever Caleb Ferguson in a trade with the Reds for $250,000 in international bonus space.
Okay, all right. Well, there's that.
Interesting.
Listen, we're just sneaking these in. So that's basically. I know. I just think that's one thing to note is that they've always believed that they have claimed that they have the right pieces and they believe in their players.
They do, and I actually do like that part of it. As much as I rip them, and I do. Joey can attest to that. I think that the fact that they believe in this core, and I think the reason why they traded so many prospects is because they believe in this core, right? I think they wouldn't have done it if they didn't believe in this group. So,
all right. So I feel I don't know what I just. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Upcoming. Upcoming. Let's see. Let's talk about upcoming. What's coming up this week? So we know we talked about Titletown Rundown. Clutch Mode Pod is going to have a podcast, a Boston College football special with AJ Black that's coming tomorrow. So make sure you tune into that, because believe me, we're going to talk about what is happening with this program, how this program is going to get better. We're going to break it all down for you.
And
as we talked about.
To add on to shortstop, I would like to put a name out there that I think thrived during his time. Sung Chae Chang. They should call him back up.
Yeah, I think he was doing a good job before he got sent back down.
Yeah, I was gonna say he
Wicked
was
Wrister is
gonna
a new episode of Wicked Wrister where you get all your Bruins talk is coming back, is coming tomorrow. We talked about Titletown Rundown. So Boston Sports Zone has a lot of stuff that's coming up this week. And then we also talked about JStock Media, who's going to put up his MLB trade breakdown. So stay tuned to Boston Sports Zone. And like I said, on the website, there's going to be tons of content coming out. We just had the premiere of Couch Takes if you missed it. So we have a lot of big things that are coming down the pipeline at Boston Sports Zone. So make sure that you tune in and you so that's it. And we're all set, and we will see you in the future on the next show that's coming up on the Boston Sports Zone. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.